Hi all, this is Sitaraman. Financial year 2021 has been introduced with a TCS provision obligating a seller to collect TCS on the specified sales made by him. Similarly, with effect from July 2021, three more provisions have been introduced wherein a buyer is obligated to collect TDS on the purchases made by him. Also, the TDS rate or TCS rate would depend upon multiple factors like furnishing PAN numbers, your return filing, etc. So all these have created a lot of discussions and deliberations amongst the business fraternities to understand and to ascertain whether a TDS or a TCS or both would be applicable for them. And in case it is applicable, what would be the rate that has to be followed? And in this episode, we are going to discuss all these provisions, simplifying the entire provisions of these two sections and tabulate to you for your easy reference. So the main sections will be section 194Q and 206C1H, which we'll be discussing from now on. Section 194Q is an obligation on the buyer for doing a TDS, whereas section 206C1H is an obligation on the seller for collecting a TCS. The buyer is supposed to do a TDS if the following conditions are satisfied, where he is purchasing a goods worth rupees more than 50 lakhs in a specific financial year with respect to a single person, and where that buyer's turnover in the preceding financial year exceeds 10 crores. Similarly, the seller is obligated to do a TCS under section 206C1H when his preceding year turnover is more than 10 crores and where he is going to collect more than 50 lakh rupees in the current financial year with respect to a single person. So as you understand, in both these scenarios, the applicability of liability is at a different point in time, where in a 194Q, the buyer is supposed to make a TDS remittance as and when he makes an advance or as and when he makes a purchase of goods. The obligation stops. Whereas in terms of 206C1H, the obligation for the seller to remit arises only when he is going to collect the amount from the buyer. So in both these provisions, it is applicable only when the other party is a resident. For example, a 194Q will be applicable on the buyer when the seller is a resident, and vice versa as well with respect to 206C1H. The value for the purpose of 50 lakhs for 194Q would be based on the invoice value excluding GST, whereas with respect to 206C1H, the value including the GST has to be considered for the purpose of this threshold 50 lakhs. Of course, as per the provisions, the TDS or the TCS may be applicable only when the amount is crossing 50 lakhs. When you are making a purchase of 70 lakh rupees in a financial year, your TDS will be only on 70 minus 50 for the 20 lakh rupees. Now we will discuss when these provisions will not be applicable so that you will be able to understand that better. Section 194Q from the buyer's point of view will not be applicable when you are already supposed to make a TDS under any other provisions of this act, or where the seller is supposed to do a TCS other than 206C1H, which we are discussing on the other side. And on TCS 206C1H, the provisions will not be applicable in the scenarios as listed. One, where the sale is made with respect to a specified products under section 200C1 with respect to liquor, forest products, tender leaves, etc., scrap sales, etc. And with respect to sale of motor vehicles, which is already covered in a specific provision, it will not be applicable. Again, wherever there is going to be foreign remittance or for foreign tours, etc., section 206C1H will not be applicable. The most important thing is the last one, where section 194Q is applicable, section 206C1H will not be applicable for those persons. So what we understand from now is, where both buyer and seller are having a transaction with each other, where they are qualified in the scenario of serial number 2, then 194Q will prevail over section 206C1H. That is, the obligation on the buyer for doing TDS will prevail and TCS from the seller will not prevail anymore. We have seen that these provisions, as the case may be, will be applying for purchase of goods. Now, what is goods is not defined anywhere under the provisions. So, applying the general clause, the goods will include other than any immovable property, and goods will include even if it is not in the nature of trading. For example, if a banking company is procuring stationeries worth 50 lakhs for the distribution across its branches, still section 194Q would prevail because it is purchase of goods. It is not that whether they are going to trade it further or not. And capital goods will also be a part of goods unless it is an immovable property. Now, let us understand what will happen if both buyer and seller are having more than 10 crore turnover and they are going to trade with each other. In this case, as I said, 194Q will prevail where the buyer is obligated to do a TDS and seller is not under the obligation for a TCS. However, it is better that the seller collects a declaration from the buyer stating that he will be doing 194Q because he is obligated to do, so that he is not under the trouble in the later period. Now that we have arrived at the obligation, we have to know what is the rate which is applicable. To arrive at the rate, the sections 194Q and 206C1H has to be read with section 206AAAB or 206CCCCA. Let us arrive what would be the rate which is applicable considering all these sections. If you are a buyer where the seller is not providing his PAN number, then 5% would be applicable. If he is providing a PAN number, then you will have to check whether he is satisfying at least one of the criteria which is mentioned as a condition below. If he is satisfying, then it would be at 0.1%. If he is not satisfying any of the conditions, again you will have to deduct TDS at 5%. Similar provisions would be applicable for TCS as well. Now, to understand what are the conditions, if you satisfy any one of these conditions, then you will not be subjected to a higher rate of tax under section 194Q or section 206C1H. Now, what are those two conditions? The seller or the buyer, as the case may be, should have filed his return at least for 1 year out of the specified years, or where the buyer or seller's TDS or TCS aggregate is less than rupees 50,000 in one of those specified financial years. Now let us understand what is a specified financial year. 2 financial years preceding the previous financial year will be termed as specified financial year. What do we mean here is, if we are the financial year of 21-22, then 20-21 will be ignored. We will have to see for 18-19 and 19-20 whether the return of income is filed or where the TDS or TCS is less than the threshold limit what is mentioned. The question arises here is, how do we know whether the other person has filed his return or what is his TDS or TCS in the preceding specific financial years? Now, to facilitate this, the government has introduced a utility wherein if you key in your buyer's or seller's PAN number, the output will be given, which will be an exception list. If it is not in the exception list, then you can go for a lower TDS of 0.1%. So, as you know, the rate of TDS or TCS, as the case may be, will be 0.1% or 5% depending upon the PAN number furnishing and depending upon the exception which will be thrown by the utility. With this, what we understand is section 194Q and 206C1H are mutually exclusive, and if 194Q provides, TCS will not come into picture at all. Thank you.